Shane, really good to see you. A very important topic today. If you don't have long-term care insurance, the government may tax you. We've discussed before the best time to buy long-term care insurance is before you need it. Well, now you may not even have much of an option. That's because 13 states are considering taxing anyone without a long-term care insurance policy. In fact, in Washington, it has already passed. Residents who don't have a policy will face a payroll tax of 58 cents on every $100 they earn. So, Shane, do you see more states adopting this mandate?
Erin, I really do, because as we see
Mm.
the cost of care rising in the future, reaching all-time highs, these governments are going to start becoming worried about the fact that coverage is not in place for the vast majority of the population. And as that goes on, the city, state, local, federal governments kind of start to see that lack of protection as something that's going to fall back on them. So, from their perspective, they're going to start saying, okay, we need the folks out there, the population, to have protection in place to make sure that they're covered and that they don't wind up relying on the government to take care of them. So, I'm really not surprised to see this happening. It may kind of result in a little bit of distaste for some new rules and laws as it's more regulation, more mandates, more taxes. But ultimately, this issue of long-term care is going to affect a vast majority of people. The costs are skyrocketing, so getting some protection in place is going to be very important.
Right. And I know you know that personally with your grandmother right now, but of course, the government is concerned about the increasing cost of long-term care, which is expected to rise from 12,000 a month to 23,000 a month by 2050. There's also speculation this may become federally mandated. So how should we prepare for the eventuality that we will be mandated to buy long-term care insurance?
Well, the best way to prepare for the eventuality is to make sure we can go ahead and get coverage while we can. The best time to buy or to place protection for long-term care is before we need it.
Mhm.
Ultimately, if there's an issue that comes up down the road, we want to have the protection in place beforehand. If an issue pops up, we can't all of a sudden go buy the policy, right? If we're in a car accident without insurance, we can't call up after the fact and ask for a policy on the car. It doesn't work that way, right? So we want to make sure that we have protection in place. We do it while our health is good, while we don't have any issues, so we can make sure that there's a policy in place. There's a couple different ways to go about it. It's something we specialize in here at Winston and Companies, is making sure long-term care is in place.
Now, this is really interesting. Some good news following the passage of the Secure Act. You may be able to buy long-term care insurance from your 401k. Can you explain this provision?
This is a really interesting
Mhm.
change to me, something that I didn't really see coming necessarily, but there's actually a new rule that allows you to take a portion of your 401k dollars out of the 401k prior
Wow.
to retirement to help pay for the cost of a long-term care policy, which is really, really interesting to me. And it's kind of a little window of opportunity. You're still going to be spending some of the money from the retirement account, but at least there's no penalty. But it's a window of opportunity to help you get some coverage in place and protect yourself going forward, especially as we see these changes coming.
hmm Thank you so much for bringing this to my attention. I think this should be almost mandatory viewing for a lot of us. It was helpful. Shane, if somebody wants to talk to you more about getting long-term care insurance, how can they reach you?
Best way to reach us is by phone or on our website. Our phone number here is 602-456-1928, or online at winstonandcompanies.com.
All right. Shane, thank you.
Thank you, Erin.